I'm Lenny from K-Tec USA, and I'm sitting here with Chris Taylor from K-Tec UK. And a lot of people have heard of K-Tec now in the States, but it's relatively new to us, but it's been around for a long time. So how long has K-Tec been in business?
As a business, as it stands today, as a limited company, it's been in business since 2001. 2001 it went to a limited, what we call in the UK, a limited company. Previous to that, myself and the technical director Ken Summerton, we've been working on suspension in our own companies since 1991, and I think Ken started around 1985. So the two of us together, have probably 25, 30 years of experience each.
What got you started into K-Tec?
Well, I used to race motocross many moons ago, and as with all motocross injuries and stuff like that, I was also full-time job. It wasn't right. A profession. It was only a hobby. So it come to a point where injuries, meaning time off work, stuff like that, I had to make the option of either chasing my hobby or keeping my my career. So at the time I was an engineer. I wanted to keep involved with the sport, and I had the option of doing some training with another suspension manufacturer. And since 91, I started working mainly in the motocross side of things,
right?
Because that's where the background I came from. So
sure. From
1991, starting from home as more of a hobby, part-time hobby business, it slowly progressed to around 1998, where I had the option also of taking redundancy from my employment, and I decided to go it alone and started doing suspension full time.
Oh, that's awesome. What made you see that other products was it other products that weren't to your satisfaction? What brought you? Where did the K-Tec mindset come into what you're producing now?
Oh, in the beginning, when myself and Ken were working on suspension, we're going back to the mid-90s, it was always difficult to buy service parts, sure. just to service to service shock absorbers, and we started researching where we could get parts from,
sure.
Slowly finding various outlets for parts that couldn't be bought from, because at that time most of the service parts you could only buy from, say, Honda, Suzuki, Yamaha, and manufacturers, and the parts were limited. So you either had to make your parts or source them from wherever you could find them. So really, what started K-Tec was around 1996. We needed springs.
Yeah. As we all do.
Yeah, it's unfortunately it's part of suspension, in those days, and we found a supplier for springs.
Right.
Myself and Ken went over with a few quid in our pockets, bought a couple of boxes of springs, brought them back to the UK, and started using them ourselves, putting the money back in the kitty, if you like.
Yeah.
Next time, bought 3 or 4 boxes of springs, and really it was springs that started the K-Tec brand. And it was on the way to collect some springs, one trip. What are we going to call these? And K for Ken, K-Tec. In that day everything was tech.
Right.
Every company was tech.
Sure.
So really that's how the K-Tec brand started. From a spring range in around 1995, 1996.
What drove you to go from bringing springs and selling springs into designing and building your own shocks?
Shocks have only been the last 3-4 years, really.
Right.
When I took my redundancy in 1998, I was working from my garage.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we were sourcing parts. We were sourcing more parts. We'd sourced springs, we'd sourced spare parts for KYB, for shower, and we started selling them to other suspension guys. There was other guys needed them, so we started this small parts business from my garage basically.
Yeah.
Around 2001 I had a change in personal circumstances and I needed to move, and myself and Ken sat down and decided, well, I needed to move. Why not make the move from where I was at the time, which was on the East Coast, into the Midlands near him, to start up the K-Tec business as such.
Wow.
So 2001 I made the move, moved to the Midlands, and started to run the business from there. And basically we moved in some industrial premises. We had capacity to expand and started growing the business.
Awesome. Now, at this point, just from 2001 to this point,
Yeah.
how many distributors do you have? How many countries are you in now?
Currently we're probably, I would say, 15 countries.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, around 15 countries.
How much success and what do you think are your biggest accomplishments that K-Tec's done over the last few years?
I think everything we've done is an accomplishment, because we've just both of us, myself and Ken, have come from mediocre backgrounds and worked hard to achieve what we've got. That, along with the people we employ, and we we have a good bunch of people here. There's 15 of us at the moment, and it's quite a tight-knit family, and everyone works hard to try and achieve the same goal.
Yeah, you mentioned family. It seems like the K-Tec UK, coming over here, that everybody's like a family.
Yeah, we although it's a business, we try and make it as sociable and as pleasant place to work as we can. I think everyone that works here's got that same vision and the same ambition to try and succeed. We're a small manufacturer in a big marketplace. So we're trying to grow, do things properly. In 2011 we got our ISO 9001 accreditation, which brought some real good structure into the company, which we follow, and that really helped us to go forward. Has helped us to go forward over the last three years or so.
How is it's got to be tough keeping as you're growing this level of quality that you keep. You dyno still every shock that comes out. I mean, it's got to be tough to get that level of quality and grow all at the same time.
Not really. Not. It's not so tough. I mean, the one thing we try and maintain is the quality, and to do that you have to have structure and procedures to follow, and that's what we're critical of. The biggest challenge in growth is obviously cash flow investment.
Sure.
We self-supporting really with cash, so we have to sell product to reinvest to go forward. So that's our toughest challenge is cash flow and not procedure or the way we do things.
Well, I noticed like a lot of your shocks, are still hand built, hand put together. A lot of manufacturing, a lot of other manufacturers have gone to automation and parts that are multiple manufactured, where you guys seem like you still do things the old-fashioned way.
In the marketplace we're still small. That still allows us, we don't have to be automated. We can still build by hand. Everything is 90% of the products are manufactured or machined, or sourced in the UK. So yeah, it's still a hand built and highly controlled product.
Now, this last year, you've had a lot of successes in the racing industry. Tell us a little bit about some of the things you guys have achieved, especially this last year.
This year we had some, I don't know if you call it good fortune or how you put it, but we won 5 major titles in the 2014 Bsb Championship. That was Superbike. It was the first Superbike championship with a rider using our product. We got the Supersport 600 Championship. We got the Evo Supersport 600 Championship, Superstock 600 Championship, and Superstock 1000 Championship. over the years we've been around the paddock a long time. We've been in the paddock probably 15 years, so a lot of that has been built on over the last 15 years, and working with teams and riders, giving that service and commitment to the racing. And this year, it all came to fruition. Really, we had we were working with the right riders at the right time, to take the championship. Probably never happen again, but while it's
not
happened,
just one championship, but all of them.
Yeah,
Bsb, which is amazing.
And that's tough. Some of the 2 or 3 of the championships were down to 1 and 2 points, and so it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
But the luck was in there.
You've always been a huge force, I know, at the Isle.
Yes. Yeah. Again, we've supported the Isle of Man now. Probably, I think this will be our 10th year this year. But basically, what we try to do is support the riders that are using the product, and that's what you have to do in racing.
Right.
There's always a need for support. There's always riders that need help, advice, and some direction at times. On which way to go and what they need to be doing.
And I just heard as of a week or 2 ago, you won Macau.
Yeah.
Macau Grand Prix.
Yeah, that was good. Stuart Easton on the Paul Bird Kawasaki. He struggled a bit at the beginning of the year and come really good during the season. Finished 6th he missed the shootout this year, but finished a strong 6th in the championship. And then he went to Macau and won from the green light to the checkered flag without being challenged.
And then you had I think it was 8 of the top 10 in Macau.
I'm not sure.
600 plus, I think it was.
No, the superbike. I'm not sure. I think it was the top 5 at least. I'm not sure.
Right.
I don't know of the numbers, but we had 8 of the 10. I think it was Supersport in Supersport 600 this year, which is a class we've always been strong in. We've always had good coverage in the Supersport 600 in the Bsb.
So where's the future of K-Tec? Where does it go now? I mean, you guys have built it to where you're seeing championships now, and you're knocking some of the big boy suspension companies down, and where does it grow to, and what's new on the horizon?
I think what we have to, what you've seen, with your visit here this week, we're now going into other marketplaces. The sports bike market is declining. Sales aren't growing in the sports bike sector, so we've decided to use the technology we've learned over the last few years and bring it not down, but bring it into more mainstream motorcycling. We're just releasing twin shocks for the Harley Davidson, Triumph Scrambler, that type of range of bikes, and cartridge kits, for the front forks. We also have about to launch a new gas shock for the Harley, which is a springless shock, which we have quite a lot of high hopes for because of the style of it as one thing, But again, it's quite unique technology. It's not really been used before, but it looks like it could be a good product for the future.
Well, thanks for taking a little bit of time. I want to introduce K-Tec a little bit more to some of the people that don't know about the company, and a little bit about the structure and what you guys do, because what you guys do is amazing. The quality, the attention to detail is really like very little of what's out there. And again, taking that time and that attention to detail is everything. So that's awesome. Thanks a whole bunch, and I appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thanks for your comments.